Hi, Rubber Duckies 2.0. I miss you guys. But for this last lit group circle that we are going to have, I was supposed to be the observer. So I will not be uploading a graphic organizer for this one. I just jotted down kind of a few notes about my thoughts throughout these last chapters. So, chapter 39, I was thinking the whole time when Mrs. Winterbottom finally brought Mike to the house, how could she not tell her husband that she had a son? I feel like if you're going to marry someone, that's something that you definitely tell them or should trust them enough to tell. And it definitely makes sense why she tries to act so perfect all the time, because she feels probably guilty about that and her family not knowing. I was also thinking Sal probably shouldn't be there. It was a very, very personal and definitely more family mattered. So I was like, I would feel awkward if I was a friend and I was there for that. And then Phoebe definitely has a right to be upset, so I can see why she stormed out with Sal. At that age, it would be really hard for her because her mom just got back and now she's finding out this big news. So I'm happy she did eventually go back in with her family. Chapter 40, I definitely didn't expect Mrs. Partridge to be the one that was leaving the letters at the Winterbottom's house. So that kind of threw me off. And then also, Sal finally talked to Margaret, so that was good for her. And I just kept thinking, how did she meet Sal's father? So I was definitely excited to keep reading to hopefully find that out. Chapter 41 surprised me that Sal left on her own when her grandma was taken to the hospital. At that age, I would have been terrified to go drive through those mountains all by myself. I also thought it was kind of good for her, and maybe she needed some alone time because she was spent all that time with her grandparents, so it was good for her to get some alone time there. And then I kept wanting to know who survived, and it said Sal knew, so I kind of had some suspicions, but definitely had to keep reading to find out. Chapter 42 made me so sad for Sal to have to see all that and then go to the graveyard to see her mother. The one part I found really funny was when she told the sheriff, "You can take me to jail now." I thought that was really good comedic relief in there. In chapter 43, I pretty much had goosebumps most of the time that it talked about Mrs. Cadaver becoming her mother's friend and how she held her hand for her last few minutes of being alive. And then also her grandma dies. Oh my gosh, this poor girl. That's just something that I would not have expected in this story. Like, she has been through so much already. So that just broke my heart a little bit for her and her grandpa. And then finally in our last chapter, they returned back to Bybank. So I'm sure Sal was very happy about that. And it all just kind of started making sense finally of why they moved for a little while, why he was spending time with Margaret. So yeah, it was really exciting to finish it. There was a lot of stuff that all came together that I really wasn't expecting. But overall, I think it's a great book for intermediate readers. There's so many different lessons throughout it, and Sal is such a great main character. She's very courageous, overcomes a lot of different struggles in her life. She's a good friend to Phoebe, even though sometimes Phoebe can be a lot. But yeah. So overall, I think it's a great book. See you guys.